Simple pendulum. By definition, it is a point mass suspended by a weightless inextensible thread which is free to vibrate or oscillate without friction. The kind of motion that a simple pendulum follows is called simple harmonic motion. Simple harmonic motion is a periodic motion where the restoring force on the moving object is directly proportional to the object's displacement magnitude and acts towards the object's equilibrium position. Equilibrium position can also be called as the central position or say the rest position. In simple language, you may call it as a repetitive movement that is say back and forth through an equilibrium position. Here ideally the displacement on the either side is equal, so this may be a perpetual motion. In physical world this is not a case, so there is no motion existing which is perpetual, so that it has to damp at some point of time. There are forces of different kinds and magnitude which acts alongside and restricts the motion of perpetuity. Best example is the friction resistance or say air drag, that is the resistance due to air. There might also be limitations of material constructions and all, like the material may not be, see in definition it is said as an inextensible thread, so the no matter how good we take care while material preparation, it may be slightly extensible, so that also adds to the error. Actually it multiplies. Now for ideal case, as it is following the simple harmonic motion, the equation of simple harmonic motion is given by d2x by dt2 plus k by m x equals to 0. We know that d2x by dt2 is called as the acceleration of particle, and the term k by m is called angular velocity, and x is displacement. K is the force constant and m is mass. Angular velocity, that is k by m, is generally denoted by omega square. We can quickly balance the term on, see if you draw a line diagram of pendulum and just put on the forces, that is Fx, that is the restoring force which acts along the direction of motion, and mg, which is the weight of body which acts in the towards the gravitational towards the gravitational center. So now we can quickly balance the terms on both the sides, and we can derive the equation for time period. The equation for time period of simple pendulum is T equals to 2 pi root L by G, where L is the length of suspension and G is gravitational acceleration. So length of suspension is the length of string, that is the point of suspension to the point where the string is tied on the mass. Now you can see that in this equation the time period is depending only upon the length of suspension. There are no other terms like size, weight, any other terms are not considered here. So we have to verify this thing. So to test this fact, we'll perform an experiment. We'll suspend the masses at different lengths and then measure the time period for that system. We'll use two different weights and suspend it at same height. Now what do you guys think? Will the time period for both of them be similar? Yeah, if it goes by the equation, it must.
So this is the apparatus for simple pendulum. We'll be performing experiment on simple pendulum with two variables. First variable is mass, the second variable will be length. So as you can see, there are two different masses of different sizes and they are suspended at the same length. Here this length, it is kept as 390 mm. We'll be measuring time period for 10 oscillations, and based on that we can get the time for one oscillation. So it's very simple, time for 10 oscillations divided by 10, you get time for one oscillation, and this is the time period for that simple system, right? If this is one system, that is time period for this system. For that's again different. We'll be measuring it for 4 different variables and then we'll conclude accordingly. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the time is 14.08. So that is 14 seconds grossly, but to be precise, we will take 14.08 seconds. So that is for 10. Divided by 10, you get 1.408 seconds as time period for one oscillations. Okay. Similarly, we will be performing for the other four, and we will compare the results. Thank you.
As seen in the experiment, the time period for 10 oscillations for the first pendulum was 14.08 seconds. So time period for one oscillation would be divided by 10, 1.408 seconds. Here there were two balls. One ball has got mass of 100 grams and the another one is of 128 grams. The radiuses are 30 mm and 35 mm. Now see, there is a table shown on the screen. Here we have taken reading for two different masses at three different heights, that is three different length of suspension. And in this thing you can see that the time period is almost of the same order, that is say 14.08 and 14.10. I'm talking about time period for 10 oscillations. Then the second one is 16.01 and 15.85, which is about 170 microseconds. So it can be considered as of same order. The error is less than 20%, so sorry, 2%, so it's perfectly fine. The third is 14.88 and 14.91. Yeah, this is also of the same order. So you see, the mass and size of the objects does not matter. So the time period for pendulum depends only upon length. Now if you check the results with the theoretical time period, see it is 1.410. Now I am talking about time period for one oscillation. So time period for one oscillation obtained practically is 1.410, and that through theoretical equation is 1.25. So that is a difference of 160 microseconds, which is again allowable. Similarly, you can see for the other two, which is 1.585 and 1.491, you can compare sidewise, and you can see that the difference is very less, or you can say that it is almost of the same order. So there is no much huge difference, like say for example if it was practically 1 and theoretically it is 2 seconds, so that can be considered as a gross difference. But here the error in range of 2% is allowable. This difference in time period obtained theoretically and practically can be justified by considering few resistances. We can consider air drag as one of the resistance. Second, you can consider string material. It definitely won't be perfectly inextensible. Third, we can consider human error, which plays a major role. So say for example, first is you can consider clamping. The clamping of thread could be improper at the collet. So in that case, the thread would slide along the jaws. We can also consider time measurement, sync, amplitude estimation, because at the time of oscillations we won't be able to check that the ball is reaching the maximum amplitude on either side, and then we note the time at the same instance itself, and this again adds up to the error. So all this error adds up and we get a time period which is slightly different than the one obtained theoretically. So yeah, grossly we can say that the time period for pendulum depends only upon length.